So, before I get into the meat of this project, I want to do a few videos sort of laying out a framework so that you can understand why I'm even doing this project and why it is that I'm sharing the information that I've gathered over the last year. And with this video, I basically want to talk about two things. One is the nature of valuable knowledge, and the other thing is the danger of the word should. Now, when it comes to knowledge, valuable knowledge in particular, in my experience, it falls into three categories. One is in a category, and I often use the phrase, it's only valuable for others to believe what I believe if what I believe is wrong. And this is sort of in situations where you have zero sum. So, like, I'll give you an example. An example would be, if I think something amazing and unexpected is going to happen at a company, publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, and let's say I believe that it's going to happen 3 days from now, I don't want anyone else to believe that. That's the nature of insider trading, right? I want everybody else actually to believe that something horrible is going to happen so that they sell all of their stock and the price of the stock goes down so I can snatch it up before something great happens and the stock goes up. Another example. If I believe that, let's say there's gold, a big chest of gold buried in an empty field that's maybe a mile away from my house. The last thing I want is for everybody else or anyone else to believe that. However, if I believe that and it happens to be wrong, well, everybody else is out there searching in the same place that I am, so I'm not really hurt because no one is searching in the area where it perhaps might actually be. Or, if we're going back to the stocks, let's say I'm wrong. Let's say something doesn't happen, but I've bought the stock right now, so maybe I don't make as much money as I would have had they all sold, but at least I make a little bit because the price got pumped up. So that's in like a zero-sum game. If I'm playing poker and I believe that I have the best hand at the table, then I don't want anybody else to think that, so long as I have the best hand, right? If I'm holding, four of a kind, and I believe that that's the best hand, and it actually is the best hand, I want everybody else to go all in so I can take their money. But if I'm wrong, I really would prefer that people were folding around me who had better hands, if that makes sense. So that's the first one, and that's in a zero-sum situation. Then there's other valuable knowledge, and this is valuable knowledge that falls sort of into the realm of altruism. So this would be something like, very simply, if I was talking to somebody and they were talking about cooking and chopping onions, and I said, hey, if you cut onions underwater, you won't cry, right? Doesn't hurt me to give away that knowledge, and in fact, it's true, and it raises my social value in their eyes. Or here's one that I'll just give you that I have learned. If you get the flu, elderberry syrup is like amazing, and very few people know about it. It'll shorten your flu from like a week to 2 days, and it's real, and it's clinically studied. So boom, take that one to the bank. Look, that one's free. Thing is, it doesn't hurt me to share that information at all. I don't know that I could benefit from your flu. Now, if I was a pharmaceutical company, the type of information that I would share might be a little bit different. I might not want to share some information about something that I didn't have a patent on. Then the third type of information is a type of information that is given to us sort of with a preface that it's valuable information, but it usually comes with a threat attached. It's something like, and it's usually fear-based. It's something like, oh, here's this thing, it's about to happen. I'm telling you that it's about to happen. If you don't do what I say to do, usually if you don't take money out of your pocket and put it into the hands that I say to put it into, then something horrible is going to happen to you. If you don't change your behavior, you're either going to hell, your family's going to starve, or you're going to starve. The ice caps will melt, and the seas will rise, and the locusts will come out, and this and that, and this and that. And I tend to find that because it doesn't really match up with the other two paradigms of valuable information, that usually that's not really valuable information when it comes with a threat. Usually what that is it's an attempt to motivate you to do something that the person giving you that information wants you to do. Has very little to do with the information, and also has very little to do with them actually wanting something good for you. So it comes with the call to action. So in this case, the particular information that I have to share is something that is of value to me. There are actions and behaviors and beliefs involved in it that, for me personally, I'm taking on to myself, and if nobody else does, they'll benefit me. If more people do, my benefit goes up. In this case, I mean, tangentially, but like if 1 million people decided, hey, I want to do this thing, it's not really fundamentally changing the benefit that I get. It's kind of like, I go to the gym, I work out. Some people ask me for workout tips. That's fantastic. Now, if 1 million people, let's say nobody's working out, and you're in a situation like Jack LaLanne, right? Who died, 3-4 years ago at the age of 95. The person who set off the modern fitness revolution. You can thank this dude. Actually invented a lot of the machines that are in the gym. He was the person who actually invented them, and variations of them still being used today. Jack LaLanne. So he wanted people to be fit, and he had a few TV shows and whatnot where he would share information. But here's the thing: besides buying his products, when he had them, does Jack LaLanne really benefit if I decide that I'm going to become fit? Does that make him more fit? If I'm not putting money in his pocket and I'm just sort of following what he's saying, how does that benefit him? I mean, tangentially, I'm benefited that in Vegas, where I live, that there are quite a few people, and it's a beauty culture. So there's a lot of people here who are into fitness. Well, what does that mean? There's a great demand for gyms, and there's a great demand for good gyms. So does my personal physique benefit? Not necessarily from them doing that, but I benefit because there's lots of supplement shops that carry great stuff, and there are lots of great gyms. And that's how I benefit, because there becomes a demand. So the information that I have to share, I think, falls into that category, and I want you to keep that in mind as I share it. The second thing is the danger of the word should. It's a word that we hear used, and with this election cycle going on right now, it's a word that you hear used in particular over and over and over again in politics, about how people should behave, about how we should think. But let me tell you something about the word should. The word should is an admission that whatever it is that you're saying should happen is not happening. That however you say people should behave is a way that they do not behave. Because you don't look at a lawn of green grass and say, that grass should be green. No, you say that grass is green. The only time, and if I said to you, I'm looking at a lawn, and the words that come out of my mouth is, that grass should be green. What do you know about that lawn? The grass isn't green. So if you hear somebody say, oh, that person just, they should be nice. They should act they should be kind. They should be considerate. It means they're not. I remember when I was in the pickup artist community, pretty heavy, guys would come in and they would be not having great success with women. And they would say, I don't understand. I've got a great job. I'm educated. I think I'm pretty well put together. I'm a great catch, according to everything out there. I should be having girls approaching me left and right. I should be able to get a girlfriend. But you're not. You're not. And whatever should be happening or should not be happening has zero effect on your ability to actually make that thing happen. Because the only thing is, the place to start is not should. When you're in the should, you sit and you're looking at a fantasy world. You're wanting a fantasy world to become your world. As opposed to stopping, don't care about the word should, and say, what is happening in the world? What is going on? Because that's the point where you can start to actually make a change, make a difference, and change your reality. I'm going to stay away from should in this whole project and this whole process. And I'd like, as you travel along, to stay away from should as well. Let's try to look for truth. Let's try to get to the bottom of what's going on. And I'm going to try to just speak the truth. And if I'm not, like I said, it's a conversation. Sometimes I may not be completely cognizant that I've slipped into a fantasy world. I've slipped into should. That's why this is a conversation. So we can continue the conversation. Facebook.com/VinArmani. Let's talk. I'm open to dialogue as we move forward. We could talk about these concepts. Like I say, a couple videos, and then we'll move right into the revelation that's taken me to the information and the meat of the information that I have to share in this project. But I wanted to get these first little things out of the way because they're things that are going to come up in the future. Nice little basis of a framework so you could understand where I'm coming from intellectually.